Alright, we need a theme song.
We don't have a theme song.
Contextually Yours. Well,
I think my mic still sounds. Whoa. My mic still sounds kind of hot. Like I still have James Gandolfini nose going on there. Just like it's a part of the scene. So you should probably introduce yourself.
oh yeah. This is the. I guess we're gonna name it. Contextually Yours, because everything is context.
And we don't have a theme song.
And we don't have a theme song. I'm Jeff Simmons, sitting across from Griffin Mayer, or you can call him Meagher,
Or
if you want him to kill you.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that we've started it, I'm fucking out of ideas. So what should we start with?
Like I don't understand why you gotta put us on the spot like that.
Oh, but I'm eating a brownie.
It's supposed to just kind of let it flow. Like I don't know who would listen to this shit.
I don't either, but
Fucking horrible.
I felt like we had to introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
And that totally fucks up the vibe of a natural conversation.
You got to work that in there. You can still.
How do you have a natural conversation if you have to introduce a podcast and the people in it?
Because you could be like, hey, welcome to Contextually Yours. My name is Jeff Simmons, and this is Griffin Mayer, and we're going to talk about some stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to feel weird. Why do you got to make it weird?
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why.
Like, why do you think?
I think that's why a lot of podcasts start with them having a conversation where they just cut straight to the middle of their conversation.
That's not Coke. That's peppermint. I have a bit of a cold.
I love how responsive these mics are.
Yeah.
I love this brownie that I'm eating.
Yeah.
Because I'm eating it on
But how does the brownie make you feel?
It makes me feel like my mom loves me.
Oh. Well, I mean, I guess,
she does.
If they were
so
cooked,
she made me brownie.
If they were cooked with love, then there's that. So earlier this evening, we were talking a bit about social constructs and how. Wow, that is really loud. That's the sound of ice cream being opened. Well, we were talking a bit about how
our roommate Donovan is getting ice cream right now. Making a lot of fucking noise. This is not a good podcast studio, but we don't have any sound mechanisms.
What do you mean sound mechanisms? I mean, you're talking on a vehicle that.
I mean, we have sound mechanisms. We don't have soundproofing very well. We don't have. That's in the next room.
Yeah, but I mean,
where all the band equipment is.
It's not required. I like how you decided to really emphasize that there's band equipment
in the other room.
Like that is
because we're way better at that than we are at podcasting.
It's like a validator that you're just grabbing onto the balls.
Because because if anybody's gonna listen to this and be like, those guys fucking suck at podcasting, we can be like, hey, we do music too.
Yeah, no.
We mentioned it on the podcast.
But to anyone who actually listens to podcasts, this is our virgin first podcast.
Yeah, so give us a break.
Yeah.
You're all a bunch of judgmental cocksuckers.
we slightly might have no idea what we're doing. We're drinking at the same time because I feel like you can't really know a person unless you drink with them. I feel like that alcohol, as it starts to drop the barriers on what we the social mores that we put on ourselves.
I'll do you one further. I don't think you get to know a person until they quit drinking.
I think that's dumb.
Until you've met them, they've had a crisis, they've gone through it, and they fucking said, I need to like cut back on my at least cut back on their drinking.
Yeah. I'm not saying
that's when you really know.
I'm not saying that you can only know a person if they're a complete fucking alcoholic. Like, what I'm saying is, whenever you have a conversation with a person and their guard has been dropped, like that, that barrier is gone. Whenever you can actually hear what their thoughts are in their head spewed out in this beautiful word vomit, like at that point,
right?
I feel like you're really getting to the heart of that person. Like, that's like in my personal religious views and everything. Like that's, I mean, like meat is highly, it's a big thing. It's a gift from the gods. Like, and it was used as a form of community. Like you drink with people and you talk with people and stories were told and stuff. And I think that helps like loosen that social constraint that we subconsciously put on ourselves. The things that we want to say but we're too afraid to say. When you're fucking balls blitzed, you'll fucking say whatever comes to mind.
Liquid courage.
Yeah, liquid courage.
But then that's still like a filter, right? So you still have you have liquid courage, which is like this thing that like pushes.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Pushes your inhibitions. Wait. Just be quiet for a minute.
Why are we doing that? I don't know. I don't know why we're being quiet.
This is what a real podcast studio should sound like.
What? Quiet?
Really quiet.
So, do you wanna unplug? Yeah. This mic is really, really good. Like I can pick up everything that you're saying.
This mic is really good too.
Yeah, we got all that shit.
We got two really good mics
doing good
but
things.
But they're completely different types of mics.
We should invest in soundproofing at someday, like one of those
I have
things.
A bunch of shit.
Maybe we could make little panels.
Maybe.
Little panels or something like that. Yeah, I would say this is why you don't do a podcast drunk, but once again,
no, you don't talk about how to make the podcast better on the podcast.
Oh shit! Is that like a faux pas?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, I still think that the drinking thing helps with the honesty. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Now, how about what I wanted to talk about?
What was that?
Yesterday, which is the why, and I know this has been talked about on a lot of podcasts, but I think I have maybe a little bit of a unique take on it, which is what, as human beings, we're developing with AI and how what aliens are.
What? Like what aliens are made of?
What?
Like...
No. Okay, so if you think about aliens, you think about white light UFOs, all that shit.
I don't.
Fucking okay. Well, whatever. The Greys. These are all. What I think of is they are all archetypes that, like, could be.
So what would the lizard people archetype be?
Well, there you go. I don't know. But I think that we're obviously heading toward
contact,
getting a lot of people think of aliens as a physical realm thing that come to Earth and you see UFOs in the sky and fucking whatever.
What the fuck
from
is
some other planet?
Why don't you think of them as just beings that live on another fucking planet? Like,
but that might not be what's going on.
That's a very Christian view of you.
No, what I'm thinking is we're compelled beyond any logical or rational reasoning other than just that we like to stare at screens to create faster and better technology and more of a kind of centralized, connected technology.
So what you're saying is that quantum computing actually causes Mandela effects.
I don't know how you got that, but that's a whole other conversation. What I think is like we're compelled to to contribute to this fucking AI. Like we're compelled to advance technology to the point that it overwhelms us, that it overcomes us.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what aliens are.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think we have these like archetypes in our head.
Yeah. I think personally, that's dumb as shit.
And I think that well, wait though. Do you know like the idea of panspermia?
Yeah.
Right? Of a like meteor hitting the planet and then creating all life on whatever planet, right? Like there's actually significant evidence that points to the fact that we all came from Mars. Like that Mars was actually had life on it at one point.
Yeah.
Parts of it broke off, fucking something hit the Earth and created all life on Earth. That's a legitimate theory that has like, and I don't know, theory, hypothesis, whatever, but
I saw that movie.
It's I didn't, but I just hear these things. So if you go by that logic that like life might be just kind of spread among the galaxy, among the universe, especially with things that can actually survive in space, which they can. Like there's certain like spores that can survive through space,
right?
Through
like
radiation.
Those that are also equally found in the depths of the ocean.
Yeah, that kind of shit. Yeah. So if you go by that logic, say if you're like some just fucking godlike entity that predicts how things play out. Maybe you don't know exactly what the results will be, and maybe you're performing a scientific experiment, right? Mm-hmm. And you just send this shit out into the universe. Like you just send out seeds. You just fucking start growing plants everywhere.
Yeah.
In the known universe. I think that's kind of like you can encode. You can kind of predict that there will be human beings, there will be technological advancement, and then there will be contact with that. You know what I mean? Mm. Like, and it doesn't even have to be contact with that specific being. It just has to be contact with a archetype of that being, because that's all it needs. It just needs code. Okay, so it's the same idea as simulation theory.
Yeah.
Like you have Earth, which is fully developed and fully whatever. So then you can make a simulation of Earth based on some very simple ideas, some very simple physics, and some simple like extrapolation of like evolution and societal change and all this other shit, right? So you can extrapolate from some very, very simple ideas into this like complex, multicultural, whatever, just like these advanced ideas that would then create a computer that would then have these advanced that would be an AI. It would be an artificial intelligence that would match the intelligence of whatever alien fucking supplanted life here.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, or maybe
I mean I genuinely think that like for us to believe that life originated in our solar system is an extremely narcissistic belief. Like, I think there are hundreds of billions and millions of fucking galaxies that have
Right.
the
I would
exact...
agree with that.
Yeah, they have exact same fucking people like us, whether or not they fucking look like lizards or whatever, sitting there looking up in the night sky going, what the fuck, God? I mean, why? What the fuck is the
Why
point
are
of it
we
all?
alone?
Why are we here?
Why are we alone?
Yeah, like, I think that is a genuine thing, and I think that we're relatively close to, cosmically speaking, finding, the other fucking group of dudes who were, like, sitting in a garage with a, extraterrestrial ham radio going, breakers, anybody fucking out there?
Right.
I mean...
I think, okay, so my idea is, like, if you have infinity versus finite reality, right? You have, like, the idea of infinite numbers or infinite whatever it is. If you can have that concept of infinite numbers,
Yes.
right, then you've already said you're basically not atheist. That's a really long stretch to make.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can follow that train of thought exactly, but I do, like, I have done it before. I'll try to articulate it. So the idea of having all these other planets in the universe, all these other stars and whatever, that have absolutely barren, no life, just fucking dead for millions and millions of light years, is as likely as having completely way more advanced civilizations than us for millions and millions of light years, because that is fucking infinity.
Yeah.
Like, if you have, we're, as far as infinity is concerned, for all practical purposes, we're probably somewhere in the middle. I mean, because what else are you going to expect from that?
Right.
Like, we only have one thing to draw on, which is our current existence at this time. So we're in the middle, essentially, as far as any perception we can possibly have. So then if you have just fucking dead barren planets, and that means you're going to have a hyper consciousness, a hyper fucking intelligent being somewhere in the universe.
Why does it have to be a single hyper intelligent being?
Well, I mean, or multiple,
Yeah,
like whatever, but at least one.
Yeah.
Like, So, and that could be,
Well, see, now, with that in mind, like, if I were to subscribe to a belief in a hyper, intelligent being, I would propose that not only would they be hyper intelligent, but they would also be, like, hyper-dimensional beings, so basically existing on a plane, like a dimensional plane outside of our purview, so that they're basically, able to, perceive time on a non-linear scale, to where, basically at that point, past and present don't really exist. It's a cohesive thing for them that can basically exist in any particular point due to the fact that they can cross dimensional barriers. And I'm saying this is if I were to just subscribe to this particular idea.
Yeah. I don't particularly subscribe to the idea I just mentioned.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, I'm polytheistic as fuck. I'll tell you that right now.
That's the that idea that, like, the Big Bang and the complete expansion of the universe is all one moment.
Yeah.
Basically, that whole idea, totally valid, but practically, like, what can we elaborate on practically and get to this? Because that idea is kind of like going from the outside in, whereas what I'm saying is kind of going from the inside out. You know what I mean? Like
no.
You don't? Okay. Because from our perspective here, what we can draw from that logically, which all science is based on, but some science is based on kind of jumping a couple of steps. You know what I mean? Like, it's highly theoretical.
Yeah, I believe that's called bullshit.
Which is like, well, but interdimensional theory is harder for the human brain to grasp than physical reality or speculation.
Now, that's an
speculation within physical reality.
Yeah, I mean, like quantum mechanics. Like, I get, I get the general ideas behind it. You know, like I get that. But I also think, like, simultaneously that it's complete and utter bullshit. And now, I'm not saying bullshit as in it doesn't happen, but I mean bullshit, I mean, as in, like, that's, like, the fucking tip of the iceberg of what we can comprehend as a human species.
Right.
Like,
physical reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Newtonian. It's not, like, physically, like... Yeah.
Funny that you bring up Newton, because Newton also, you know, was an alchemist, like, you know, a dude who believed in magical theories.
Right.
So, like,
which is really ironic. But yeah, that's so fucking okay. So that's like one of the biggest ironies ever is that like Newton was an alchemist and like that had those beliefs, and yet we have a less materialistic kind of pursuit of science right now that is just grounded in materialism so much, whereas it was the other way around with Newton, where
also I don't think that is necessarily true, especially with the groundbreaking tech that we're seeing today. I mean, I don't think someone who's grounded in that physical, you know, bullshit like in the physical world, basically everything revolving around physical sciences, could have come up with the idea for quantum computing, for Christ's sake. I mean, how to theorize, you know...
No, I think that was LSD.
Yeah, well...
I'm pretty sure that was LSD.
Like, taking the theory of quantum entanglement and going, you know what? I bet I can make some bitchin' processors with that fucker. You know, and then turning it into an actual thing. Yeah. Like, that's insane. Like, we're, like, literally, like, 2 fucking steps away from, like, having fucking Star Trek transporters and shit based on this crazy fucking...
Disclaimer. Neither one of us knows shit about science. Take all of this with a grain of salt. Please. I do not want fucking comments about how I'm scientifically wrong, because guess what? I'm not a fucking scientist. Anyway.
I think everybody's a scientist. You just gotta...
I think the fascination with science should not be downplayed, and I think that people should be more curious, and I hate when people shit on other people and judge them for inaccuracies in science instead of saying, hey, guess what? This is actually what's going on, instead of just calling them a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So, disclaimer, we are not scientists. We don't know shit about science. Anyway.
That was a pretty big waveform.
I don't think it didn't peak in my ear.
No, it didn't peak. I have a bachelor's degree in science, just not, you know, related to anything sciencey, just fucking music. But anyway, shit, I had this amazing fucking point that was gonna tie all that in together, and then I just fucking lost it. Like,
that's not good for a podcast.
Oh god. Okay, take quantum wave functions for example, right? It's just like fucking crazy ass shit. Quantum wave functions being like you know, the existence of matter before it's realized by the human brain and actually becomes physical reality. So like, for instance, like a tree, right? Say I'm not looking at this tree. Right. If I turn my back, that tree ceases to exist. When I turn around and witness this tree, then its quantum wave function has been popped, exploded. Right. I find it funny that quantum wave function...
Perception is reality.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, yeah, totally.
And a quantum state.
And I find it funny that quantum wave function has been shortened to be QWIF, QWIF, quantum wave function. So, like, you know, you're popping a quiff. Like, it just sounds funny to me. But anyway,
popping a quip. I'm gonna say that every time I see something weird. I'm like, dude, I just popped a quip.
Yeah, like when I was in high school, me and a buddy of mine, Rob, if you ever hear this, it's you, and I love you. Anyway, we really got into quantum mechanics, and we started reading a bunch of like Alan Wolf and shit, and we'd start trading books back and forth and stuff, and just we go, have ridiculously drunk conversations about paradoxical cubes and, stupid shit like that.
Wow.
String theory and...
I never got that into it.
Oh, dude, we were nerdy as fuck. Like, my young life was spent playing tabletop role-playing games and reading theoretical physics. You can't get fucking nerdier than that.
I always like the concepts, and then I just apply philosophical shit to them, which a lot of people really hate. But, like, I've always been, like, kind of more philosophical than scientific.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I can't decide on a mode. Like, it really depends on what I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
On if I go for the philosophical or the scientific. And I'm shit at math. Like, I am utterly fucking shit at math. So, like, what I'm good at...
I love math.
Yeah, like,
it's the only thing you can rely on.
I'm good at the big picture. So, like, if somebody comes to me and describes what string theory is and how it works and how it integrates, I'm good with that. When you start getting into the equations that actually apply to that, I'm there's my dick sucking. Like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a crutch. I mean, that's a fallback. Like, I can't fucking solve for fucking triangle with a goddamn, semicolon in it. It's not it's not me.
I like math for the fact that it's I know that like right brain left brain thing is not really true.
No,
but the logical reasoning side of my brain, which sucks as an artist, because as an artist you're supposed to like kind of pursue emotion,
right?
Which is really illogical.
Yeah.
And the right side of the fucking logical side of my brain dominates.
Yeah.
Like, it just, because, and it's more of kind of a security and safety kind of thing. And I think that's why a lot of people who are more math-minded, a lot more science-minded, are more kind of reserved, maybe introverted, maybe more kind of, secure. They want to be secure. Because it makes, like, math makes sense. It's a fucking, no matter what happens to the planet, 2 + 2 still equals 4.
Right.
Like, no matter what the fuck is going on, if I can measure something with a set measurement that everyone agrees upon, then all is right with the world. What are you guys doing?
Keep talking.
Okay, so anyway, they're looking at fucking Facebook messages or something. Anyway, but once you get into language and all that shit, it makes it a lot harder, because then you have to kind of explore chaos. You have to, like, get out of that mode. And... I can't remember my original point, because you distracted the fuck out of me with that.
Why do you have to get out of that mode to understand chaos?
Well, I don't think you have to get out of it completely.
Yeah.
But I think you have to let yourself be vulnerable. And that's really hard to do when your kind of foundation of everything you know is like logic. You know, like logic is the foundation. Like, that's why I have such a... I'm so fucking interested in mental illness and shit like that, because anything that's irrational to me is to be explored and figured out. It's an answer. It's like trying to solve a problem that's just not solvable.
Yeah. Speaking of narcissistic tendencies, it just occurred to me, like,
you answered a message on Facebook?
No, that actually doing this podcast is like a narcissistic tendency. Like,
totally.
We're actually indulging.
No, we're narcissistic as fuck right now.
We're indulging in the self so much at this moment.
Oh yeah, totally.
I just.
But that's why I want to kind of like, try to strip away the microphones and the computer, all that, all that shit, and try to have a natural conversation, which is why I was like, Maybe we should just fucking start it in the middle of us talking.
Yeah.
And not, build it up or whatever. And
True.
not say, this is the blah, blah, blah podcast with so and so. Like, fuck all that. Just like.
But you still need to brand the podcast. Like, that's.
Well, yeah, but I can do that in post anyway.
No, fuck a post.
No. I can, seriously, that's how a lot of podcasts are. They do it in post.
This shit's going
They do it in post for that very reason.
This shit's going up raw and unedited.
Yeah, well, fuck it. Who cares, right? I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Shit, I don't
I
have
am
booze.
drinking.
Well, I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, who, like all two of you that might have actually fucking made it through this, we're going to take a short station break. And by that, I mean I need to go get more booze. So we're going to stop for 5 seconds. So we'll be right back on, what the fuck are we calling this? What's this thing called?
I was thinking, Contextually Yours.
Right, so we'll be right back on Contextually Yours. Don't.
You have a good radio voice.
Your mom has a good radio voice.
You got a really bassy voice.
This one time.
I don't.
This one time.
My voice sounds horrible.
I don't know what you're saying. But anyway. Yeah. Anyway, we'll be right back after these short messages. There's not actually going to be any messages because we don't have any sponsors. But, we'll be right back. And, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for, waiting.
Waiting through.
Even though it's, you didn't have to wait.
we got together and we jerked off into a cup.
Oh.
And one of us drank it.
On Contextually Yours.
And you'll know at the end of the podcast.
With love.
Which one drank it. That's how we keep people. That's how we keep people listening.
I'm really shocked.
Is we give them a cliffhanger. And we say, one of us drank cum.
I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with this or not.
Yeah, no, one of us drank cum. Who is it?
I don't mean that to sound homophobic in any way, shape, or form. I just mean I'm not sure that I'm ready for that kind of commitment.
Did you say homophonic?
I might have like homophonic. Like how does that work? Like it's like a homophone. Homophone.
So anyway,
that's fucking ridiculous.
So
that's the dog studio dog.
I have no idea. Oh, Dublin's itching.
Dublin, by the way, is the studio dog. You'll hear him in the background.
He's got some kind of allergy, and I need to get his.
Yeah, if anybody out there knows why, like some kind of topical thing to help dogs stop scratching their asses.
I gave him aloe, but I don't know if people aloe is good for dogs.
You can call in at 1-800. No, we don't actually have a phone number. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna find out.
Hey, we should set up a phone number. People can call in.
I'm gonna get him something, so no one really has to respond to this because I'm gonna fucking figure it out. Anyway, can't remember what we were talking about before we stopped.
But you had an amazing epiphany.
But I thought about the idea that people spout about a civil war happening in the U.S.
Currently. Yeah.
Or even before now.
Like when there was an actual civil war?
Because we did that
already.
During Bush or Obama or, whatever.
Yeah.
The idea of a civil war, which now I think it's, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty kind of freaked out about our fucking politics right now. I'm more freaked out about our politics than I am about our president, which should tell you just the scope of how freaked out I am about our politics. Because our president is a fucking crazy person.
He's got a bit of the orange to him as well.
Yeah. So the idea that America would have another civil war based on politics is kind of fucked up, and this is why. Every single military person I know does not. Okay, but the ones that I know,
how many do you have?
And the people that they know.
Are you speaking to like scores of veterans? Like, are you
I'm
having
not, okay. I'll clear this up because I don't know fucking 100 veterans. All right, whatever. But I know, I know a handful.
Okay.
I know a handful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying that something that's kind of common in that culture, and mostly because of gun control. Something that's really common in that culture is they don't trust the government. That's a kind of a big thing, which is kind of fucking ironic and weird that military personnel who are obviously, commanded by the government and fucking take rank, and listen to orders and obey orders are shady. Like, they're like, well, the government's, they don't trust the government. And their Second Amendment fucking the biggest proponents of the Second Amendment is a military vet, like, for 100%. I know guys that got out of the military had all kinds of fucking issues that have actual, like, open carry licenses and carry around guns on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, just as an FYI, you don't actually need a license to open carry in most places.
Okay. Well, I know at least one dude that for sure had some pretty serious issues that open carries. I actually trust that guy.
Yeah.
He's dealing with his shit, and he's a good dude.
Also, we now live in, not now, but I mean, currently we live in Missouri, which actually just legalized constitutional carry, which means that, of course, you can carry a firearm concealed or not concealed as you see fit. And that's totally fine because it's constitutional carry. I haven't looked up on what the reciprocal laws are in the surrounding states and everything.
Right.
But here you can carry whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. Right. Well, I mean, legal firearms. Right.
And you would hope that anyone doing that would be very well trained in the use of a firearm.
I mean, with all the firearms laws and things like that come up, one thing that I seriously would stress is training. Like, if anything else, it's seriously, like, fuck every other fucking 10-day waiting period bullshit. Like, I think if you want to own a gun, you should be trained on how to use that gun. Like, otherwise, like, fuck it. Like, when I was traveling with the circus, okay, for those of you who don't know, I traveled for about 2 years with a traveling sideshow, but we had a series of rules. And rule number 10, circus rule number 10, was never let a dumbass touch the shit. And I feel like this applies in this particular context.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the measure of whether or not you qualify through a background check and that you fucking wait your 10 days or whatever the fuck to get a gun, I think that's stupid. Like, I think really you need to be, like, proven on a fucking, in an actual shooting range to prove that you are competent with that fucking weapon, before you're allowed to go ahead and take that home.
But Griffin.
What?
That just makes a more efficient killer.
How does that make that makes a more fucking trained, like, citizen? I mean, okay. No,
I'm being devil's advocate here.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, the more efficient killer. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, seriously, like, do you really think that the guy who's, like, the more efficient killer isn't already gonna pretend to be a normal fucking person in the first fucking place to get as much training as he goddamn can on a fucking gun in the first place? What we're really doing is educating the populace so that if this more efficient killer shows up to fucking start picking off people at a goddamn college, there's gonna be, fucking Jimmy over in the corner going, you know what? Not today, bitch. And Jimmy fucking takes this dude out before this even becomes a thing. I mean, half the fucking school shootings really, I personally think, really could have been stopped by educated motherfucking firearms owners who could have taken that son of a bitch down in about 2.3 seconds.
Right.
I mean, and that's stretching it because in 2.3 seconds you probably could have unloaded a clip and already reloaded.
So I'm gonna go into that because that is definitely a point of controversy for a lot of people, right? Is having firearms at schools.
Yeah.
Now I know that like back in the day, 70s, 80s, they had firearms training at school.
Yeah, you used to go fucking shoot a rifle.
And PE or whatever. I was beat up in PE. They wouldn't have given me a gun. That's all I'm saying. But like that was the thing.
Like, why isn't archery taught anymore in fucking PE and shit?
That would have been so fucking great
practical
for me.
Skills.
That would have been great for me, really.
Yeah.
Like I think I would have gotten a lot out of archery. Anyway,
I got taught archery by the Boy Scouts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Archery and knot tying.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, why don't we teach Girl Scouts knot tying with the cookies we buy? Why the fuck is that a thing? Anyway.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but I think...
It's a separate topic.
I think really, like, Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts should be taught the same exact things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so... You derailed me.
I'm going back to this whole Boy Scout shit.
No, okay. No. Having guns in schools.
Yeah.
Having guns in schools.
Guns in schools.
Even by the teachers.
Yeah.
Right? If you have... So you have an environment that is suited to learning. Say for like the spa, for example. Like say you have a spa, you have a fucking sign on the spa that says no guns allowed. Okay. So there's certain environments where a gun makes people a fucking nervous wreck.
Right.
Just the existence of it in general, no matter who's carrying it, even if a fucking cop enters the room.
Yeah.
Although that might be a better, that might ease their tensions a little bit. The idea that there's some
really don't
form
feel
of
easier
like
about
a
that.
gun or like whatever in the room.
Yeah.
While students are trying to learn or whatever is distracting.
But okay, when I'm talking about contextualizing, I mean, you keep saying the word "the spa." Why don't you tell everybody what the spa is?
So they had a float spa, but I'm not. I don't want to advertise on this.
I'm not saying that you have to advertise. I'm just being fucking put the spa into context.
So say you have a massage parlor, right, or a massage place. Or Christ, anywhere, yoga studio, anywhere where you're supposed to relax.
Yeah.
Anywhere that you're supposed to be...
Porn theater.
Kind of... Maybe, yeah, sure, whatever. But anywhere where you're supposed to be, like, you're supposed to set a tone, right?
Yeah.
You have, like, you would put signs on the door that say no firearms allowed. I totally get that. Because... of those things. So, like, what is... Like, say if you're in a school building, the odds of you actually having some kind of attack is pretty fucking low.
Really? Have you fucking looked at the news lately?
Well, considerably. I mean, like, weigh it against fucking everything else. Like, you have... Those attacks are relatively low compared to...
The amount of schools per capita?
Sure.
But it's still needless fucking death that could have been prevented.
Right. No, I agree with you there.
And I really think that fucking no firearm signs is like you're painting a target on your back for criminals. Hey, criminals who actually have firearms. There's nobody here who has guns because there's a fucking sign that says no guns outside the fucking thing.
But I don't think that's true. I think that, like...
Really? Because
there's still cops outside.
Really?
Like,
when? Have you tried to get a cop when you actually need one? Tell me when that's worked out.
Takes forever.
But
Thank you, Don.
But in those situations, who is incentivized to commit violence via gun?
dipshits who fucking want to commit violence. I mean,
Right.
and they're going to commit that in any way, shape, or form.
But-
whether it be a gun, whether it be a knife, whether it be a hatchet, a hammer, a fucking pencil, whatever the case may be. Like a douchebag is going to commit douchebag acts.
I'm not arguing against there being some kind of security in schools or teachers having firearms or whatever. What I'm saying is that there is a reason for the no guns fucking sign, and the fact that people are so fucking scared that they don't want to have they don't want to put that sign up.
Right.
Is
So
just
what you're
as
saying
bad.
is
Is just as bad as people being scared of the opposite, which
Yeah.
is you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it's because of uneducation. It's like you got a whole fucking populace of people who have never been exposed to that, to firearms. They've never been exposed to
Right.
how the practical application of that can be, something that is not necessarily a comfort, but a safety measure. I mean, something that, you talk before.
right, and
Well, no, hold on. Well, earlier today, we were talking about that whole, hey, you don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you thing.
Right.
Now, imagine that if everyone in that fucking room has a gun. Like it's amplified. Like, I'm not going to screw with your shit if you don't screw with my shit. Because,
but you just said it's amplified.
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
How are you supposed to relax if that shit is amplified?
If you're relaxed,
That's what
once
I'm
it
saying.
becomes more commonplace, it becomes a more
It
relaxing
becomes more
thing.
commonplace.
Exactly.
We are in a
Society of fucking jackass little bitches.
Sure, or you could say that we're in a privileged society, which we are, but that kind of has a certain standard.
Have you? Do you recall ever watching a movie called Demolition Man? Right? You have this entire society of fucking little bitches who don't know how to deal when shit hits the fan.
But I don't know. I think that, like, if...
Like that
I think we have to have both.
That
I
whole
think we
society
have to
is a fucking walking advertisement for a gun-free zone. I mean, that's really what it amounts to.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that
All
there's
it takes is one fucking reprogram Wesley Snipes. And
there's
shit.
yeah. Nobody clone Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Whatever you do,
He'll karate your
no
ass right in
one
the fucking throat.
No one clone Wesley Snipes.
He'll fucking shoot the place up, karate
That's
your
all
fucking
I'm
throat,
saying.
and he won't pay
No matter
taxes.
what you take away from this podcast, no one clone Wesley Snipes.
Because he won't pay taxes twice.
Yeah. If you have like a combination of both, which I think is essential, you have the because there's different ideals of freedom, right?
Right.
Okay. So you have a society that kind of enriches and encourages free open thought, fucking, and being pussies. Obviously, that's part of it. And then, and then you fucking ground that in, security. You have the people who want to open carry, whatever. You still should have some kind of area where people don't have to be exposed to.
Fuck?
And it's their own choice. Microwave. Anyway, it's their own choice on whether they don't want, because it's still freedom. Like, they don't want that, like, in their space.
Yeah.
And that can be a small space. I'm not saying it has to be everywhere.
Yeah, no, totally. If you want to get shot up, that's
But-
fine. I mean, hey, we're just fucking in the herd at that point. That's cool.
That's not what I'm saying at all. But
it is what you're saying in the same instance. It's like, if I want a gun-free zone and I'm blah, blah, blah. Well, when shit goes
I'm
down...
not saying a gun-free zone, like, everything is contextual, right?
Right.
So I'm not saying a gun-free zone in a fucking crisis. I'm saying a gun-free zone...
You can't fucking change that all of a sudden. You can't, in the middle of a crisis, go, oh, you know what? This is not a gun-free zone after all. I was just kidding. Like, that's not going to work.
Let me ask you something.
Go.
If if somebody was actually shooting up a school, and
Yes.
you had a gun and you were outside the school,
Yes.
are you not going to run in there and take out the guy that's fucking shooting up the kids because it has a sign that says gun-free zone?
You're goddamn right I will. Fuck this fucking sign.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But now you're relying...
That's what I'm saying.
Now you're relying on that there is going to be another armed, trained citizen who happens to be close enough.
But you're also relying on the fact that there's going to be some psycho with a gun in the fucking school. So
there's always a psycho with a gun in the fucking school.
No, there isn't. Hardly ever.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
Caltech, Sandy Hook, fucking Columbine. Like, dude, the kids are going nuts these days. They're fucking, they're hyped up on fucking Mountain Dew, video games, and pornography.
Yeah, can you name 20 of those?
Give me 2 seconds here, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, okay, how many schools are there in the U.S.?
Lots.
Yeah, lots. Lots more than 20, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So what you're saying is the amount of loss of life that we've currently had...
That's not what... You're putting this out of context again.
No, that's completely in context. No, you just don't want to admit the fact.
I'm talking about the environment that that kids learn in. Is what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the environment that...
So you're saying that children just automatically can't learn anything if there's a firearm in the area? Like, just immediately that firearm just sucks intelligence completely out of people's heads.
I'm not saying that either. What I'm saying is a heightened tension in a place of learning is not good.
Really? So then every other factor that goes into a heightened sense of tension in a learning environment, such as what?
If we can mitigate those.
Really?
If we can actually minimize those.
So that every single learning environment needs to be filled with children who are all wearing the exact same outfit at all single times, that are completely covered head to toe, so that there's no provocative anything anywhere ever, and the teachers must speak in a monotone.
You're giving me that fucking slippery slope bullshit.
That's not slippery slope bullshit. That's practicality, motherfucker.
Anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just saying I don't want fucking guns in...
There you go. Yeah, right there.
I'm just saying I don't want people...
Have a seat down.
I'm just saying we have a luxury in a privileged country to not have some kind of overbearing stress in certain areas of... Yeah, maybe it is. Well, it's American privilege.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the idea of, like, quote-unquote white privilege, and although, you know, there is, to some degree, white privilege, but, like...
Well, there's not, to some degree.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like there is an American privilege, which is, we're not in a fucking war-torn country. We are... So, we don't have to fucking act like... We need that kind of... Like, we can act like we have spaces where we don't have to worry about that.
That's bullshit, though. That's social conditioning. That's the same fucking shit. I mean, back in the day, you take, like, the Renaissance, right? Yeah, eat that pizza roll, bitch. Eat it. Back in the day, like in feudal society, when people would wear swords all the goddamn time. A sword is an implement of war. It's an implement of death. Yet we used to be so fucking commonplace. It was like fucking I forgot my galoshes because you know it's your fucking sword. I mean, I don't understand why that context is now gone. Like, we've gone so far away from that now, if shit were to go down in any particular given, you know, case, we don't know how to react to it. Not only given the fact, the whole thing about, you know, everybody, like if, you know, multiple people had a firearm on a college campus, we haven't even taught our children the basics of what a firearm is, and the fact that if somebody has enough time to fucking squeeze off a couple rounds and they're dropping a clip, you know, that you've got enough of a window to jump up and take that bitch out regardless. I mean, Now, granted, if it is an experienced shooter, yes, they could probably change the clip in about 1.3 seconds. I mean, if they're fast enough. I mean, and in most cases, expert shooters are. Or even a mildly trained shooter can drop a clip and reload in that time space. But these guys that you hear about in a lot of these school shootings are like fucking Bumblenuts the Anteater. Like, they'll fucking drop a clip and there's like a good 5-10 seconds. Yeah, I mean, 10 is probably stretching it, but still, a nice large space of time before they have enough time to reload and start going at it again. But these kids have no idea of how that weapon functions, and so immediately we're like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. So then more fucking kids keep getting dropped because they can't figure out how in the fuck, hey, within this space, I could take that bitch out. Or at least, disarm him if needs be, whatever the case. And we don't do that. We don't teach anything practical on that matter. So we're basically a fucking society of sitting ducks.
So, when we were talking earlier, about
these piece of rules are good.
Putting people in boxes and
why that sounds very Nazi.
Anyway, we were talking earlier about putting people in categories, boxes, and that, there's more complexity to whatever topic, right? Right. That's kind of the same thing here. Whereas you've gotten more into the details of the fucking attack, whereas we don't want to think about those details. So I give you full credit for that. Because we don't want to think about the details of these fucking horrendous attacks. We just want to demonize guns and demonize the people that commit these acts, whatever. So, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
On the... That mic picks up fucking everything. On the other hand, I don't think we need to worry as much. I don't know. It's fuck. I had a thought and now I lost it because of the goddamn pizza rolls.
Yeah.
I mean, so is the... I think it also points to, like, is there a problem that you need to deal with retroactively or, proactively?
I don't understand how that's contextual.
Well, if a kid...
How do you deal with it retroactively? Like... You can't go back in time on that.
No, you're dealing with it retroactively. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that we need to actually start teaching our children.
If you fucking arm people, you're dealing with it retroactively. You're not fucking helping that kid.
I'm using a retroactive idea.
You're not helping that kid that wanted to shoot up the school. You're fucking killing that kid.
You're also not fucking helping the kids who got shot in the first fucking place. Like, we are retroactively...
But that's what I'm saying. If you help the kid that fucking wanted to shoot up the school ahead of time...
Really?
Then he wouldn't fucking kill those kids.
So we should sit in, like, little fucking, psych wards where we just kind of, like, fucking monitor all of the students that come in and go, you know what, you've got bad feelings today, little Jimmy. We need to put you aside and make sure that you're okay. Instead of teaching our children to actually fucking level-headedly see shit out, we don't do that.
Boxes. You fucking,
Pizza rolls. Call the safe space. Sorry.
If Totino's is going to advertise with this.
So, that's another extrapolation of, that's another fucking box.
Yeah, it is a box of reality.
But what I'm saying is, like, it's not every day, it's not fucking, like, you don't survey it, it's not an institutional thing, it's not a governmental thing, it's a fucking cultural thing.
It is a cultural thing.
Yeah. And I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
And I think most people can.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just think that progress is made when you have the like basic tenets of the Constitution are there in order for fucking progress to get made.
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the Constitution.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, you have these protections. You have this base. This fucking like. You have a foundation. You build a house on that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Your upgrading of that fucking house.
So what's the Second Amendment to the Constitution?
Right, but like really anything, like the whole fucking Constitution is
right,
a fucking
but specifically,
foundation.
what is the Second Amendment to the Constitution?
They have the right to bear arms, that form a militia, all that shit.
Right. So then, why would
well-regulated?
Why would those rights be hampered based on
I'm not saying they
social
are,
mores?
and that's why I'm saying they're not hampered by a specific place saying we don't want guns here.
Right.
That's not a law. That's a sign that says we don't want guns here.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But how does that defeat crime? Like, how does you putting up a sign that says, hey, please don't bring guns here?
Because crime is not contextual to what I'm saying. It's not.
Still, how does that even
I don't know why you're laughing at that. That's fucking serious. Like, you don't... Crime is not contextual to... Who's gonna walk into a fucking massage parlor with a shotgun and kill everyone?
Someone who's wanting to get the money that that massage parlor would make that day.
Why wouldn't they knock off a bank? Why wouldn't they knock off somewhere else?
Perhaps-
What the fuck does a massage parlor have that some other business doesn't have? That's fucking retarded.
Oh, exactly. Location, location, location.
Dude,
Depending on where this massage parlor is located.
no. Now you're
Yes.
just stretching this shit to fit your...
No. Like,
No,
why does
no.
everything have to be in an upper crust white neighborhood? What if this massage parlor happens to be in a really shitty neighborhood?
The reason I say a massage parlor is because it's a fucking place where you want serenity. You don't want tension in the environment that you're in.
Right. Maybe a hand job.
And
but
I'm sorry, but like, wouldn't even matter if it was guns, fucking knife, any kind of weapon.
Mhm.
Is going to be regarded as adding to the fucking tension of that environment.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying we make laws. I'm not saying there's laws that need to be in place for those things.
Yeah.
But like a fucking an area where it's just kind of understood, you don't fucking take a gun
Right.
or you don't take a weapon to
Okay.
that area.
But that still doesn't address for those who would break said laws. Like, how do you deal with that?
To what? No, yeah, I mean, I didn't hear you, literally.
Like, that does not address people who would break said laws. Like, how do you deal with that?
But they're not, that's not a law.
Well, it doesn't matter. Whoever would break said suggestion. Like, how do you deal with suggestion breaker?
The fucking odds of them breaking that suggestion
No, fuck the
are
odds,
so
though.
low.
What do you do with that, though? What if that happened? If that happened, what would you do?
You have police, you have cops.
So, like, you take the response time of local law enforcement.
That is
In that
the
context.
that is the sacrifice of a free society.
And we are 1 hour and 25 minutes into this podcast. We're going to take
And we're getting into a tense fucking discussion.
We're gonna
but
take-
what I'm saying is
we're not
that
actually
is
gonna
the
break right now.
sacrifice of a free society.
What we're doing at this moment is we are taking
We were talking about anarchy earlier.
We are.
And
We
that is the
are.
sacrifice of a free society that is able to have those spaces.
Yeah, Ben Franklin said that really
That is the fucking sacrifice you take.
Yeah.
Is that, Now with open carry everywhere else, hopefully there would be a guy right around the fucking corner that could take care of that problem.
26 minutes.
And that's what you would hope for.
Minutes in.
But what I'm saying is, no guns in certain areas is a valuable thing.
And this is the point in the show where we take a 10-second break for drinks. Cheers.
Alright, cheers.
Okay. So yeah, when we're talking about anarchy, I don't know. I just think yes, both have a valid spot. Like as far as contextually goes, both you can have your fucking safe space, whatever the fuck, you know, if it's a suggestion, if it's not a law. In the same respects, like if shit goes down, and I think you're on your own. Like, I really genuinely think that if that's the space that you want to create, if nothing happens, absolutely, it's perfect, it's beautiful. If shit goes down, then you're fucked. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's no help for you at that point. So you, like, I guess you as a business owner or as a, you know, a school owner, whatever the fuck, you know, the case may be, whatever the fuck you own that you want to create this safe space on, like, at that point, if something were to happen, like, that should be on you. Like, that should be your shit. You handle that shit. Like, I think if we had that kind of a setup going, then sure, it's all good. Like, I can have my, you cannot come into this area unless you have a gun area, and then you can have your no guns area.
No, I agree with that. I would agree with that. I just think it's funny how we're supposed to have this like free society, and then we have like so much like hatred towards like maybe like hippie communes. You don't see those anymore.
Yeah.
But we could under our federal and state laws, anyone could really have a hippie commune and be totally fine doing it.
Yeah.
Like, and we should let those people be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we should let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of good can come out of that. But, like, this idea that, like, every fucking single territory of it, you know, every fucking square foot of land has to be, like, strictly constitutional, strictly, like, well, to an extent, yes. When it concerns like actual literal human rights, yes. But when you're talking about people that want to create spaces for themselves,
Yeah.
you know, let the hippies be hippies. Let the liberals be as liberal as they fucking want to be. And you know, if they're on their own space, and let them fucking do it. You know, there's no problem there. And it bums me out when people are insistent upon their ideology in every fucking context. Because it's just, that's not how anything works.
Yes.
So.
But then there's others who would argue, of course, if you allow like hippie communes and shit all the time, you're gonna get like another fucking Waco or Ruby Ridge or, you know, something like that. Some sort of situation where, you know, it's drugs and decadence and a cult leader fucking kids and all that kind of shit.
Right. Well, that's the basic human rights thing. The federal government should protect basic human rights. And beyond that, they have no... Beyond basic human rights, the government should have no say in fucking states' affairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know? If you're... Sorry, but if you're starting a cult where you're fucking kids, you're that's a problem.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
It's a really big problem. So... And we all can agree with that. But if you're starting a cult where, you know, everybody just is of age and has to wear tutus and maybe has dildo in their ass every every day for the coronation, then maybe let them slide.
How do you?
Maybe not enact sodomy laws. maybe let them go if they are of sound mind and body and just want to have a dildo in their ass for a couple hours on a Friday night.
Like, how do you identify that though?
That's the job, right? That's what someone is assigned to do, is to figure that out. That's what courts are for. That's what, you know what I mean? Like, that's what fucking courts are for. Courts actually used to be an exchange instead of having a lawyer go, let this guy off and I'll, whatever. Like, it used to be an actual exchange of, am I guilty or not? And now it's just it's just a fucking business. It's just, do I have to not, can I just pay you $100 to not show up in court and then you just take care of it?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, like, take the Heaven's Gate cult. Like, who stopped that? Bunch of people fucking with a 501c3 living in a fucking house. Everybody castrated, wearing Nikes, committed suicide, figuring they were going to jump on a Hale-Bopp comet, go to another
I don't
planet.
think there's any way you could have stopped that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, that is one of those things that it sucks because you want people to have free will.
Yeah.
You want people to have...
Speaking of human rights, where do you think the United States falls in the whole, like, advocacy for human rights? Like, in like, a list of countries? In the globe. What do you think?
I gotta be honest. And I feel like no matter how I answer this question, that people are gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
As if I haven't already said some shit that people are gonna be mad at me for. And I'm just not educated on that, so I don't know.
Just guess.
I don't know.
What would you guess?
I'm gonna be completely fucking candid here and say that I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know.
You know what I heard about Heaven's Gate? I heard that...
Dono, you can't talk. You don't have a
Oh
microphone.
shit, you don't have a microphone, Dono. What are you saying?
Oh.
Alright, what's Dono have to say? Just say it. Just say it.
I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory or anything, but what I heard was I think their website's still active and you can actually talk to some people and they'll write back.
True.
Alright, yeah.
So I guess there's actually still surviving members somehow.
Either that or they
Right.
paid somebody to run the website. As far as human rights go, the United States ranks 16th, right behind Ireland, France, Luxembourg, Austria, the United Kingdom, Germany, New Zealand, Australia, the Netherlands, Denmark, Finland, Canada, Switzerland, Sweden, and number one for the absolute, like, fucking most baller country for human rights, Norway.
Nice.
Yes.
But what, is that the ACLU or who's, what?
This is US.news. Citizenship rankings based on human rights and, like, basically, like, how awesome citizens are treated across the globe. And I think some WHO shit goes into that determination. Part of the World Health Organization bullshit that they do. I'm not saying that the World Health Organization is bullshit. I'm just saying that as a colloquialism for, stuff.
So,
For those of you who don't know, I'm completely and utterly obsessed with anything and everything Scandinavian, so the fact that Norway made the top of the list makes me really fucking happy.
So, yeah, if you have, like there's metrics there.
Did you know that
What
in
are those
Switzerland?
metrics?
Did you know that in Switzerland you can take a shit and watch a movie at the same time? Like, while you're at the movie theater, when you go shit, like, the movie, like, fucking plays, like, on the floor in TV. Like, so you can shit and still watch your movie. Like, I want to go to Switzerland and not buy a movie ticket, but like buy a take a shit ticket. Like, I would probably eat a bunch of shit food so that I could just kind of save up for it and have just the luxury of being able to like shit and watch my movie at the same time. Are you perplexed by this? Like, you got to take a drink because don't know what to go with next after that.
An overwhelming amount of Americans going to theaters in Norway.
Switzerland.
Oh, Switzerland. To take a shit. Like, I actually think that's the most American thing ever, is the desire to go to Switzerland just to take a shit in the movie theater. Is one of the most American things I've ever heard.
America. Fuck yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, though.
Yeah.
I would totally do it, but
Sometimes you just gotta take a shit in a foreign country.
sometimes you just
wanna
gotta,
be,
like,
you want to be
you know,
comfortable when you
you just
take that
gotta
shit.
you just gotta fucking succumb to your stereotype.
That sounds kind of sexy. You're just like, in Switzerland, you can take shits while you watch movies. It's absolutely fantastic. Sometimes you can even get popcorn. Can't do that with a straight fucking face.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta take a shit in Switzerland. I mean, watch a movie.
That's my two life goals are, number one is to take a shit in Switzerland while
Wait, but
watching
what
a movie.
movie? But what movie? If you could pick a movie to take
Yeah.
a shit to, what movie would it be?
Probably the next Star Wars. Like, if I could take a shit in Switzerland while watching Star Wars, like that would be like one of my life's dreams.
Okay, now
done right there.
Now, do you consider that a tribute to Star Wars or a condemnation of it?
No, it's just complete narcissism. Like, just a self.
But why Star Wars?
Why-
Like,
oh.
narcissism is narcissism.
Yeah.
Like, that's you taking a selfie while you're taking a shit. What I'm saying is...
Ooh, we could live cast that.
yeah, we should. But what I'm saying is, why Star Wars?
Oh, just because I really want to see it, but I want to feel comfortable.
Okay, so it's like an homage to it.
Yeah. Like, I want to...
I
wanna-
would be honored. I would be honored to shit while the
watching this movie.
third fucking
Movie that actually is relevant.
Death
in
Star is
Wars.
being built.
Yes. Like, I feel like that would be just kind of an amazing feat that I'm completely and utterly in a different country, place I've never been before, off my foreign soil, if you will, or off my my home turf, and I'm taking a shit in a luxury bathroom that has the movie, fucking Star Wars epic movie playing.
Yeah.
It
would be a good,
on the floor while I'm dropping the deuce.
I feel like it would be a good, kind of a good contrast.
Yeah.
Whereas me, like what I thought of first when you said that, of course, now I'm like, I subscribe to your idea because it's fucking, it's Star Wars.
Why not?
Take a shit during Star Wars. But when I first thought of that, I was like, maybe like some fucking shitty horror movie, House of Blood.
You gotta think that these are actual.
I want to take a shit during House of Blood.
Yeah, but this is like a legit. This is a
feel like
legit
I'm
movie
shitting
theater.
on the movie, right?
But you can't do that. I mean, like, what are you? Are you
no,
gonna, like,
you have a much more zen. Yeah, you have a much more zen, much more like.
You're gonna go fucking.
You have a
watch-
much more enlightened view of this than I do.
You're gonna go take a shit watching La La Land or something. You're just
Right?
gonna
Yeah. Actually, yes, yes. That's even better than what I said about House of Blood. Yes. No. La La Land would be perfect for shitting while watching. Yes. Because they wouldn't want you to.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Ryan Gosling has his moments.
Yeah. Donovan wants to say more shit. Why don't you get a goddamn microphone?
Oh, I think we ran out of cables.
Yeah, we did. My roommate Donovan is sitting here with headphones on.
Yo, I need more
wants to
snore
say
on my monitor.
things, but he didn't want to be involved in the podcast originally
Bitch.
when we started. So he already said one thing. I don't know if I should let him say anything else.
Yeah. So, yeah. I really have no idea where we were at before this
Donovan,
tangent of
where would you
shit.
what movie would you shit to?
Why is that?
I have no idea, but I was going to ask you a question. What movie would you not shit to? Like any movie that a snake pops up the toilet or something weird like that. I hear they do in Guam anyway, but I don't know. I know I know that's completely off topic, but anyway.
I've not shitted to pretty much every movie I've watched so far.
I think that question is false.
Yeah, that's
Like,
a really terrible question.
I think if you actually have to shit, you can shit to any movie that you want. Like, really? Any movie ever? Like, even your favorite movie? Like, have you ever been at a movie, like, you're watching a movie and you really have to shit or piss, like in the theater?
Yeah.
And even if it's, like, an hour and 30 minutes or whatever, like, you feel like that movie has been going on for, like, 67 hours. And, like, you've been just fucking strapped in this chair.
Right.
But you really do the movie. So, like, you don't want to leave. But at the same
Right.
time, you're fucking cursing existence because you want this fucking stupid movie to end. But then you're like, God, this is not a stupid movie. I really hope it doesn't end soon.
Right.
Because all the shit hasn't been wrapped up. But dear God, like, fucking turtles are popping out of my asshole.
Dude.
Yeah?
Let me give you a scenario here. I took my nephew to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Rogue One.
After we saw Rogue One?
After we saw Rogue One, I took my nephew to Rogue One because I feel like, and this is a very controversial statement, that it is my favorite fucking Star Wars movie.
I don't find that to be controversial at all.
Which, you know, I love the originals. I actually fucking kind of hate the, special editions and all that shit. So I'm with you, old school nerds, but God damn, Rogue One is such a good movie.
That's called being fucking normal.
So Rogue One is so my nephew was with me. He had to pee in the middle of it, and he gets up and he leaves, and I felt like he should die. He's okay, so he has to pee, but God damn, why couldn't he hold it like I would? That's one problem with these kids these days, is that they have the internet, they have everything on a click, they can pause anything, and they think that if they just leave and go do their business, that it's just gonna pick up where they left off. And that's he missed such good shit. He missed where the fucking they were at the base of the tower.
Don't spoil shit.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil shit, but yeah. Anyway, he missed a lot of good shit. And it really pissed me off.
That's the problem with kids.
It really pissed me off.
They don't realize that, fucking real life happens when you're pissing.
Yeah, they don't realize that you have to hold your bladder until it hurts. I was in gym class so many times where I was getting pegged by a fucking dodgeball and wanting to pee so bad and no one would let me go. And yet, it's a movie that's incredible, and you feel like you have the privilege of leaving. That bothers me so much.
Yeah.
It's so
I think
sad.
what bothers me so much is the amount of the goddamn exorbitant prices for fucking seeing the goddamn movie, and you go and take a piss. That's like fucking $3.75 that you just pissed away.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, that too. Yes. I was less concerned about the money, more concerned about the experience. But you have a very valid point. Very valid point. Oh, it's so sad. So sad. He just won't know. And he'll be like, he'll watch it on a DVD or Blu-ray or fucking Netflix or whatever and be like, oh, I didn't realize that happened. And if I'm
That's because you had your dick in your hand when that was
and
happening.
if I'm sitting next to him, I'm going to slap him in the head. Be like, dude, you disappoint me.
I think kids would be like that anyway. Like, even if they sat through the whole fucking thing, as soon as they saw it again,
Yeah,
I'd be like,
remember shit.
yeah. I mean, you get it. You get my, like, if I've seen a movie once, I'll latch on to certain dialogue, which I can repeat at random. And you get that. Like, we watched the entire fucking season of Firefly, and now, if I make Firefly references, you fucking pick on that shit. You get it. But, like, I feel like a lot of kids today just would not be able to latch on to just about fucking anything, like, at all. And then they've got to watch it 10,000 times, and every time they see it, it's like a fucking...
Okay. This starts another fun conversation.
Yeah.
Which is pop culture references versus fucking, like, straight to the core, like, real conversation, right?
Yeah.
So
I really don't see a difference.
there's not. It's not a dichotomy, but there's a certain degree to where that I've noticed where people are kind of culturally tuned, and then they thrive on that culture. Hell, that's why fucking Comic-Con exists. That's why VisionCon exists.
Right.
It's because people relate to a culture. And yes, that culture is derived from real human emotion, because obviously you can't make a good story that people are going to follow without real human emotion. You can't fucking do that. But if everybody is speaking in these terms, it's kind of like... if everybody's relating to each other in these terms of media, then you kind of have a disconnect between real authenticity and what is kind of translated by their authentic feelings, right? So there's like a cultural filter, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, people that don't watch fucking anything are refreshing to me. I love those kind of people. I love people that have no cultural reference.
I don't trust them.
I fucking love those people.
I don't like it. Like, honestly and truly, I don't like
yeah?
it. Yeah.
Why?
Because I prefer someone who I can relate to through those fucking pop culture references. I find it comforting. So,
But you can't relate to them, but you can still relate to them without those references.
yeah, that's true. I just don't. Like, if you don't get my jokes, folks, like, we can't be friends.
Fair enough. I mean, I get why they're valuable. I'm not saying they're not valuable.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that can kind of be a hindrance to getting to know someone, like, truly.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Because I think it really shows a lot about a person whenever they
But
get
you need multiple. You need
multiple
diverse pop culture references in order to pinpoint a person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll totally judge people based on how many of my references that they get from rather obscure, ridiculous fucking movies.
Right.
Like, the more that you get, the higher you rank in, like, my social hierarchy.
Right.
Like right now, Jeff, you're sitting at, like, the fucking, you're at the top of the shit pile right there.
Right. But, like, there's still, like, I'm trying to think of a good metaphor and I can't, but, like, it's
Yes.
when they were trying to discover
Like the snap. That was like a
Neptune.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out Neptune.
Yeah.
Right? They used Uranus, and it's odd fucking. Hey, I started calling it Uranus because of fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson calls it Uranus,
Neil deGrasse Tyson
And-
is a pimp.
and he's awesome. So that's how I'm gonna pronounce it.
Science pimp.
So anyway, it has an, and this is actually, I'm reiterating something he said, which is the orbit is irregular, and the way they discovered Neptune is because of the irregular orbit of Uranus, like the way the gravitational differences, right? And so they said, okay, well, Neptune is coming around the bend at this point, so we'll look in the sky and we'll see it, and bam, it's there, and then they have confirmation, and bam, they know, right? When you talk about cultural references as opposed to somebody just fucking being real with you without any of those, like just using language. Of course, language is still a filter, right? Mm-hmm. So language is still limited. But what I'm saying is like, it's the difference between kind of knowing where Neptune is and actually seeing Neptune.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's fucking real with you and doesn't use any pop culture references,
Yeah.
you're seeing fucking Neptune.
See, and I disagree with that because I believe that the amount of pop culture references that they use is an insight to the person themselves that actually shows what their interests are. It shows a little bit about their character.
But it's still like the lanes they're driving in. Because those pop culture references are external to them.
Yeah.
So that's like, so if you know that I am fucking into the fucking Half-Life series video games, if you know that I'm into
Never heard of it.
See, so you don't know something about me.
Yeah.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like, if you know I'm into those video games, if you know I'm into Firefly, and then if you know I'm into fucking Tool, you can kind of like triangulate my position, right?
Yep.
You can triangulate. You can figure out, okay, well, this is what he likes, and this is like kind of where he is in the cultural fucking spectrum,
Yeah.
right? And the more references you have like that, the closer you can fucking pinpoint someone.
Yeah.
But if they straight up fucking tell you, like,
I don't like that.
this is who I am,
Yeah, I don't like that.
without any kind of reference to anything,
Yeah.
like just fucking straight up language.
Totally don't like that.
But that's them giving you the exact coordinates.
Yes. Like, I know people who do that, and I have made acceptances for some people who do that. Like, a person that we know does that. Like, there's a lot of bullshit that surrounds it, and then all of a sudden...
Yeah, there can always be bullshit, but there can still be bullshit in pop culture.
Right.
too.
But no, that's the thing, is there's like this fucking balloon of bullshit.
Right.
But then whenever we hang out alone and vulnerable, there's like this direct communication that just... Yeah, like...
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like I said, they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. I'm not
But-
saying it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I prefer the pop culture references and things because I use that as a...
It's
like
kind
a-
of easier to process.
Yeah, it's a
right?
springboard. It's
Yeah.
it's a security blanket. It allows me to be able to use, humor as not only a deflector but as a receptor at the same time.
Right, yeah.
And using those in conjunction, that allows me to further, fucking peel back the layers of the onion.
Right. Yeah,
And that could be my hang-ups that I need that in a person.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think. Yeah, if you... Shit, I had a thought. God damn
It's
it.
a fake cigarette.
I can't.
It's a fake cigarette because I subscribe to the social moray that smoking is horrible. So I smoke a fake cigarette.
It's my dick. No, It's not.
It's not your dick.
It's much thinner than my dick. It's thinner.
My thin dick.
It's. But I'm not gonna comment on whether it's longer or not. But it's thinner.
Huh.
Anyway.
Next podcast, we're gonna have guests. Yep.
Fuck.
Some of these waveforms are really small.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's alright. Fuck it.
So, yeah, okay, so language
Yeah.
is, there needs to be more than language. There needs to be, like, a lot of times there needs to be nonverbal communication, right? Like, there needs to be, like, physical body language,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, there's a big part of that. I mean, a lot of nonverbal communication.
Even if they're saying fucking cultural references, because if they say the cultural references badly,
Yeah.
let's just say that I was gonna say, like, you give a Rick and Morty reference.
Yeah. Well, you want me to give?
And then I say, "Wubba-lubba-dub-dub." Like, I don't fucking do it
Yeah.
any justice whatsoever. Then you're just disgusted by me, right? That totally takes you on a whole other fucking. So it doesn't matter whether I know the reference or not.
Yeah.
If I can't also pull it off, that's a whole other level of I don't want to fucking talk to you, right? Like that's
a sonic or spiritual vibration level. Like,
right.
if your string is like out of tune, like, there's a good chance we're not going to be friends.
So is the cultural attachment like more snobbish?
Yeah. Well, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Snobbish as fuck, really.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up.
Right. I was thinking.
I'm fine with that, really.
That wasn't even my original thought, but I thought of that and I was like, maybe that's something.
Yeah. That could be a thing. That's okay though.
Are we pretty much out of fucking breath on this?
Well, we've done just
If we've
about.
done more than 2 hours, we're probably done.
Well, we're about 2 minutes away from 3 hours worth of material.
Good God. Shut this shit off.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna go.
Next podcast.
We
ladies.
have no advertisers.
Yeah. Next podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Sponsor us.
We're actually gonna have possibly some additional people.
Us.
Maybe a guest or two. Yes. You wanna?
We'll suck your dick. Please sponsor us. We'll suck your dick.
Wow. That's pretty intense. Do you want to do the sign off?
We really won't.
I
don't know what the sign off is. The fuck do you want?
Make one up, man. You fucking came up with the name.
This is contextually yours. Everything is in context. So don't hate us and fucking yeah.
Well,
I just don't want to be expelled from society.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I just want to make some kind of podcast
You're so needy.
where I'm not expelled from society.
needy.
I don't care what else happens. Just please don't isolate me. Please say I still have friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you give two shits about what we've done tonight, if anything has entertained you in any way, particular shape or form,
just be my friend.
please feel free to subscribe to this podcast, assuming that we have it on some sort of subscription media.
Just don't hate me.
Thank you very much for the evening. This has been Contextually Yours.
Please don't hate me.
Have a great night.
Be my friend.
Oh, fuck it. We love you.
Contextually yours.